Hello, welcome to this incredibly original video idea. I mean, I'm not going to ramble a bunch. I've been a rail nerd for a long time now, and there's lots of random information I've learned. So, here's a bunch of useless information about British trains. The signal at the end of the platform of Leyland Salting Station is called Sierra Echo 9. The reason the Island Line uses old tube trains is because of that tunnel back there, which is too small. Despite its name, Long Eaton, the platforms at the station are too short to accommodate the meridians used by the EMR intercity services. Dr. Richard Beeching is the man famously known for publishing the Beeching Acts, which closed many railway stations in the 1960s. He was born on a Monday. Up until 4 months after the company was nationalised, SWR Trains still said to check firstgroup.co.uk for career opportunities. On the emergency information posters within Avanti West Coast Pendolinos, the diagram of the train carriage actually showed a Voyager, not a Pendolino. Despite the name, Clapham Junction Station is actually in Battersea, not Clapham. I also have a cold today. The smart card readers that look like this, use the same typeface that's used across the entire Manchester Metrolink. This typeface, by the way, is called Pantograph Sans. Also, the newer versions of these machines actually make slightly higher pitched sounds than their older counterparts. Speaking of the Manchester Metrolink, on its Altrincham branch there are actually a few signals still remaining unused from when the line was actually a British Rail line, before it was converted to Metrolink operation. The 17th passenger train to depart from Lincoln Station in the May 2025 timetable is the 0747 East Midlands Railway service to Nottingham.
Please make sure you have the correct ticket to travel on this service.
That voice is Atos Anne, which is the most commonly heard voice at any railway station. Unit number 222104 is the only EMR Meridian train to have a full purple livery. Also, next to the EMR platforms at St Pancras is a remaining warning sign from 2007, when the overhead wires for HS1 were switched on. As you can see though, they updated the sign in due course. The station signs at Deansgate Railway Station actually have regional railway signage on the rear side for some reason. On ticket buying apps and on board trains, Garston Station is known as Garston Hertfordshire Station, which is a relic of when there were 2 Garston stations, the other being Garston Merseyside, which closed in 2006, making the Hertfordshire suffix completely pointless. This is what a perfectly clean Thameslink toilet looks like. I proceeded to go and buy a lottery ticket that exact same evening. This sound is a 1.5 kHz sawtooth wave. The 1 millionth Wikipedia article ever published was the article for Jordan Hill Railway Station in Glasgow. Exactly 1/3 of all current stations within the county of West Yorkshire were opened after the Beeching Acts. All of those stations are on screen now. The air conditioning on South Western Railway Class 158s is noticeably louder than air conditioning of any other train operating company's 158s. Voiceover artist Celia Drummond was actually the lead singer of a short-lived band in the early 1970s called Trees. The open buttons, previously found on 1996 stock tube trains, measure at exactly 128 by 238 millimeters. Station signs from the British Rail nationalised era, particularly between 1965 and 1997, looked like this, with black Rail alphabet font text on a white background. Whilst almost all signs like this have been phased out, a few do survive into the modern day. For example, one at Sarn Station, one at the end of Platform 12 at London Paddington, one at Warminster that's had a First Great Western sticker put over the bottom, and 2 that still fully mention British Rail, one at Kersley and one at Goostrey. A couple of differences between the Class 700 and the Class 717 include firstly, the number of carriages. Class 717s have 6 carriages, while 700s have 8 or 12. 700s do not have plug sockets, 717s do. 700s have toilets, 717s don't. 700s don't have a blinking red light above the doors when the doors are about to close, 717s do. There is an old South West Trains era station sign at Wimbledon on the southwestern end of Platform 6. This is the only one of such signs that I'm aware still exists. The East London line is still mentioned in quite a few places. One example is here, at this sign, at West Ham. Also at West Ham, one of the DLR signs actually covers up an old sign that used to mention North Woolwich Station, that closed in 2006. Here I've edited the colouring of the video slightly so it's a bit more obvious to see on video. Quite often on Northern Sprinter trains there's too much text put onto the displays, such that it ends up getting cut off towards the end. Some tube trains have actual conventional TOPS class numbers for when they run on parts of the National Rail network. They are designated the Class 499, where the 1972 stock is the 499/2 and the S7 stock is the 499/5. Strangely, the 1995 and 1996 stocks are designated as 499/3 and 499/4 respectively, despite the fact that Northern and Jubilee lines never actually run on any National Rail lines. The median average station in terms of passenger usage in the 2023 to 2024 Office and Railroad Statistics timetable period is Pontefract Monk Hill. Lenzie is the only station in Scotland to have the letter Z in it. You can tell if a Northern 158 used to be part of the ScotRail fleet by looking at its headlights. If they're in one big bar like this, they aren't, but if they look smaller and are recessed inwards, then they used to operate with ScotRail. Did you know that you can't get a direct train between Snodland and Rowgut? The main difference between Chiltern and Great Western Railway Class 165s is that Chiltern 165s have fully sealed windows, and Great Western Railway 165s have openable windows. However, these windows can still only be opened by the guard. The openings of the stations Ashington and Seaton Delaval on the same day took the total number of stations in England from 1999 to 2001. So yes, there was technically no 2000th English station. The signal at the end of the southbound platform at Wombwell Station is Bravo Yankee 1020. At Warrington Central Station, some platform signs mention trains to Manchester Airport, despite the fact that there is only one train a day direct from Warrington Central to Manchester Airport, at 23:45 at night. Some signage was also recently modernised, but still weirdly mentions trains to Manchester Airport. In the village of Brundall in Norfolk, there is rather unusually a random local railway information sign in the middle of the village. This sign is around a 15-minute walk from the actual nearest station. In a Class 455, the train doors normally open as soon as you press the open button. However, some 455s have a special carriage that used to be part of a Class 508, and the doors in these carriages take about half a second to open, since they use completely different mechanisms. The 1946th station, alphabetically, as of September 2025, is Rolleston. This will probably be outdated by the time this video goes up. One of the companies that makes yellow tactile paving for platforms is iGlow. According to their records on gov.uk, their headquarters is in Ashington, and the company was incorporated on the 10th of April 2017. The company's director is called David Anthony, who was appointed on the 2nd of February 2019 and was born in October 1965. And his house address is 47. A large proportion of Transport for Wales Class 150s have some black tape in the top right corner of the front of the train. For some reason. The sign underneath the Way Out sign at Colne Station says Retail Outlets, rather than Retail Outlets. And since this sign appears to be from the British Rail era, it means this typo has gone unrectified for at least 30 years. The largest station in terms of number of platforms to close in the country is Blackpool Central, at 14 platforms. Today, the station is now just a generic car park. A station sign from Norwich Station, back when National Express operated all the services, lies in the window of the old parcels office at Lowestoft Station. 12 coaches is the highest number of coaches you will find on a non-sleeper domestic UK train. And also, Thameslink 12-car trains aren't actually the longest domestic non-sleeper trains, funnily enough. In fact, no 12-coach trainers. The longest is actually an 11-coach Pendolino. Golly, well, that sure was a video. I hope you somehow found it interesting, even though the information was all completely useless. This video was actually really fun to edit, so I really hope you enjoy it. This is probably one of my favourite videos I've ever made, so yeah. If you did enjoy, of course, like, comment, hype, subscribe, whatever. There's too many things now, and yeah. Suppose I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye. And finally, thank you to all of my wonderful patrons and channel members who are listed on screen now. Thank you all so much for supporting the channel.